I've got a question here from Tony Doherty of Taree. He says, is there any hard evidence that a carbon tax and or an ETS will mean a net loss of jobs in Australia for big business and or send businesses overseas? It's an often asked question. Do you want to...
Well, I'll start, but Gerry will round this out. If Australia were genuinely acting totally alone, if it were to pursue a very tough emissions target, and if it were to have no border adjustment, if it were to actually say, well, look, we'll just turn our back on these industries, if they're uncompetitive, they're uncompetitive on a global framework, then certainly there would be risks of losing jobs. But none of those ifs are going to happen, are they? No government that is going to get elected, and I've worked for 50-50 for both sides, is going to introduce a scheme in which they fail to address the emissions-intensive trade-exposed sector, which would be at competitive risk globally. There'll be a lot of argy-bargy about how much it needs to be protected on a case-by-case basis, but every scheme that I've seen and every scheme that operates internationally has actually had that in place. So that would be my answer from that point of view. Gerry?
Yeah, I think it's, once again, it's back to how you manage that transition. And as Roger said, if you sort of jumped overnight, then there would be disruptions in the economy. There'd be winners and losers. And I think over time, as we have in every generation of Australians, there's been a partial or almost complete transformation of where people find their work and what they're doing. In Australia, a very high percentage today is in the work in the services industry. We're going through a mining boom, but in the future, we could find that the jobs will be in different places. But given the rhetoric there is on both sides of politics today, it's almost inconceivable that a price on carbon in its own right is going to lead to dramatic changes in the short term in terms of jobs. And over time, the jobs will change, as they have in every generation that we've been through in the history of this country.